Hey, how you doing? Dan McDonald here. I thought I would share this with you. This is really cool. This is actually a hand crank sugarcane juice machine. And what's interesting about this farm that I'm working at right now is that it used to all be sugarcane, as a matter of fact. But now there's still some sugarcane on the property here. And we were doing some clearing work, so we had to pull some of the sugarcane. So my job today is to juice the sugarcane, which is actually in the grass family. Sugarcane juice is really sweet. It's got a lot of sweetness to it, but the beauty of this type of sweetness is that it's got a lot of minerals in it. So it's a really balanced type of juice. The natives would chew on this for their teeth to make it strong, but the juice is really what's sought after. And so when you take the juice machine here and you juice this up, what you're getting is some of the most nutrient dense, sweetest, most delicious divine nectar upon the face of the earth. You know? And so this is a really cool sugar cane. This is purple sugar cane, which indicates to me that it's actually really good for the brain. And I like to run it through twice. I don't know if everybody else runs it through twice, but when I run it through a second time, I get quite a bit more out. And I'm thinking this is the divine nectar, so I'm just going to run through every one twice, even if it takes me twice as long, but quite a bit more came out of there. So like, let's say this, I got this big piece right here, right? I got to take the machete and go right down the center if I can. That one didn't go super great, so I'll have to cut it again from the other side and try to go as much down the center as I possibly can. And I didn't do super great on that one either, but I think this one will go through. It's a pretty good sized piece, but let's see what happens here. I've never used a hand crank, so it's really fun. But no sweat, perfect. So this is where it gets a little too thick, and then I'll just flip it over and run that through again. You can see it dripping off there. So I'll run this one through again from this side. Look at all that juice coming out. You can't really see it from where you're at, but it's getting quite a bit of juice comes out of the sugar cane here. So it's like it's kind of like giant sweet wheatgrass, basically, and very mineral rich. So what I've got here, I've actually got a full vat. I've already squeezed one. This is the divine nectar. In fact, what's interesting about this is that this was the original master cleanse, believe it or not, sugar cane with lemon and cayenne. But now, since it's difficult to access cane juice in large amounts for the average person, especially living on the mainland, you know, it got switched over to water, maple syrup, lemon, and cayenne. Now personally myself, I don't really like the maple syrup since it's not technically raw, and being a raw food educator, you know, you try to, you know, dot your I's and cross your T's and all that stuff. Would I eat maple syrup? You know, maybe, but I really would rather have the enzymes in everything that I eat. That's just how crazy I am about it. When I eat honey, you know, I can have a whole nother level of thought about the enzymes are within that honey that help to absorb, utilize all of the nutrients within that food, you see. But as soon as something gets high heated and the enzymes are destroyed, then I feel like the food doesn't have the magic. I feel like heating things up takes the magic and disorganizes the electricity and the consciousness of the food. That's why I've been saying for years, fruits and herbs are the food for mankind, the most sustainable long-term plan. And when you come to an island like Kauai and you work on an herb farm and you eat fruit, it really becomes very apparent after all these years of researching and thinking and helping people to detoxify and looking for the right answers when it comes to diet and how human beings can thrive and heal themselves of diseases. You know, I had a lot of theories, and I'd been to the island before for like a week, and I'd been to the tropics, you know, down in Mexico for a little while, and saw some of how it works. But now that I've been here almost for 5 weeks, a lot of my theories are really becoming experiential, and it's becoming so obvious, and I'm becoming so tuned in to my body. So I look forward to continuing to be able to help you. I'm really inspired right now because it's easy for me to forget, being that I have a certain level of health within the body, digestion, colon, kidneys, my skin, my lungs are pretty good, still cleaning off the mainland out of there. Mostly what happens is you'll find out that you get to a spot where you're detoxifying your mind from thoughts and conditioning, and that's where we get to the highest levels of regeneration, when we can keep bringing our mind back to the 0 point, to the eternal nature, and then ride the body out. And when we can stay in that eternal nature, we're more relaxed, and then the body automatically does what it does really, really well, which is a self-healing type mechanism. And as healers, we help it by like washing you clean with like orange juice or sugarcane juice, so that these foods are less obstructive than what you're used to with the beer and the coffee and the soda pops and the burgers and the French fries and the fried food and the plastic foods and the pesticides and the additives and preservatives in foods, which create little occlusions and irritations throughout the entire organism. And then that ends up being in mental disturbances or physiological disturbances and occlusions, blockages to the flow of energy through your kidneys. And then they say you have such and such a disease, or your gallbladder gets plugged up from too many cheeseburgers, and then you get that cut out. What I'm trying to help people to understand is better not to get your organs and glands cut out, but to clean them out through the process of detoxification. So how did all that come out of cane juice? Well, that always comes out of everything for me. I can always bring it back to how important it is to clear the occlusions on every single level. And as you become more and more aware, tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, you'll become more sensitive to your own body cues, the cues coming from your body, which works as a unit that will speak back to you so that you can relate to it spiritually and tune in to the next step for yourself. And so as a person who has been helping people to detox, I just like to guide you into simplicity more than anything. And then of course I always have all the tools that I mentioned too that can help accelerate the process, because people are so far out of whack. But sunshine, fresh air, these juices are really good, because what you can do is saturate with minerals, which create frequency, and then these juices that are always fresh have the enzymes as well. And when you take the fiber out, of course you want to have some fiber to knock loose all the debris that's in there, the cheeseburgers, the cheese, the gluten, and that type of thing, the genetically modified foods, which are creating a lot of inflammation as well. You want to soothe and heal and cool cucumbers, aloe, oranges, watermelon. Some of the herbs have strengthening and tonifying effects. So hopefully what I'll be able to do over the years is continue to just serve you in any way, and hopefully inspire you to eat better, live better, think right, and clear yourself out so that you can live a happy, wholesome, and healthy life. So here's some cane juice for you, purple cane juice right to the dome. I'll run one more through there for you, and I think I'm complete if you are. Thanks for joining me for this video today. Had a really good time catching up with you. I'm going to juice some cane juice. Had an epic yoga this morning and an epic meditation. So those things really help you to get centered and balanced, particularly the breath work. So work on your lungs, work on your structure, whether that's through Pilates or at the gym. But a good yoga teacher can guide you through strengthening your spine and getting some of those blockages energetically moved through you. So I just want to recommend, like, live a good life, take really good care of yourself, and you can avoid surgeries and pills and all that stuff for the most part. In fact, that's what's causing a lot of problems, the blockages that are arising from the consumption of those cellular irritants from a very young age, put in there socially to kind of dumb us down. So what I'd like to do is, potentially just sort of share my own craziness and eccentricity in the fact of just maybe we can remove some of those vaccines, remove some of those toxins in the food, remove some of the bad habits. I've helped a lot of people get inspired to get off weed, and their whole lives changed, just like mine did. I'm not going to say good or bad or anything like that, but I'm just saying in certain ways you definitely can wake up. And so basically it's kind of like the hard road that leads to awakening. And so it really has to be done, and there's no shortcuts. You really have to walk through the fire, and that's what I'm recommending more than anything. I've got all my little stuff that I do, my little juicers and my little enzymes and stuff like that. But hopefully what can go on out there is that people can see that there's kind of a deeper message here. And it would be really great if I felt like the people that watch these videos are getting that deeper message. It's an eternal message, and it leads to peace and harmony. And you see the innocence in the other, and you see the innocence in yourself, and you continue to expand and grow into your biggest, brightest, best self, which arises of its own, because those divine qualities are already there within you as the deepest part of your being. And so the breath work is the spirit that opens the lungs and clears a lot of the blockages. The diet also helps, because these foods that are high mineral, high water, that are just plant cellulose, like fruit being the highest form of food, in my opinion, because it goes through so easily and leaves behind the least amount of metabolic residue, while just flushing the entire system with that structured water, with those minerals, and then those colorants go right into the brain, those subtle qualities of the food, so it's really elevating. And then the herbs can be really strong and being also high levels of chlorophyll, which purifies the blood, and a lot of people have issues that they need to deal with as far as like their breath and stuff like that, you know what I mean, because there's a lot of putrefaction from even the cooked vegans. So really I'm always going to be promoting, because I've noticed in my own experience that the armpits are the best, the breath is the best when fruits and herbs consumed raw and whole, and simple combinations, and not too much eating on the organism. So there's a lot more to that, and I'll continue to do my absolute very best to share my little piece. As you mature, you get more humbled in this life, and you don't think that your big fat ego means all that much. So you have to approach things from a level of service, but at the same time, God kind of made you unique, so you got to be that too, you know? And you got to honor that about yourself, and I need to honor that about myself. So I really appreciate you spending time with me today, allowing me to share this, because I think this information is invaluable. When you clean your body and your mind starts to clear up, a lot of things will change for you. Things will get better. They'll get better, they'll get easier, they'll get more effortless, and then there will be no more forcing. And you can, through the right spiritual practices, leave behind that suffering that we bring upon ourselves for the various reasons. And I won't go into that, because that's a whole video on spirituality and stuff like that. But may you be blessed, you know, with the peace that's already within you, that's been maybe obstructed by the various, you know, habits of thinking and living that may have picked up along the way. And so find your innocence in all that, and continue to do the work, to be the brightest that you can be, to listen to that deepest part of yourself that's trying to guide you to your highest and best, most beautiful, radiant, true, with a capital T, S, self, capital S, self. And each day you'll take a step closer to that, and it's pretty beautiful, and it means everything to your soul. And you'll know when you're growing, you know. So anyways, you know how DTM can just go on about some sugar cane and whatnot. So peace be with you. Thank you. Goodbye for now. I'll be in touch. I hope to bring some more fun, cool videos and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Been kind of busy, but peace.